Taurine has anti-anxiety effects. It relieves chronic fatigue, promotes mitochondrial health, supports cellular energy, helps you sleep, and it's anti-aging. It's one of the most abundant amino acids in your brain, spinal cord, eyes, and nearly every tissue in the body. Every region of your brain, including the retina in your eyes, contains and takes up taurine. You may be familiar with taurine only because it's a featured ingredient in many popular energy drinks like Red Bull and Monster. Occasionally you'll see a story about a sudden death or a seizure from consuming as few as 3 or 4 cans of some energy drink. And because taurine is the featured ingredient, many assume that taurine is the problem. It turns out that adding taurine to your diet is perfectly safe. The hidden issue that's often missed in the news is the energy drink's caffeine content ranging from 80 to 300 milligrams per can. Everyone from athletes to exhausted mothers grab a can of Red Bull sometimes to improve performance and make it through the day. A better option is to avoid the sugar-laden energy drink and instead take a taurine supplement with a cup of coffee or green tea for a similar effect without the negatives. Taurine functions as a neurotransmitter and a neuromodulator in the brain, activating GABA and glycine receptors, and these affect memory and mood and prevent seizures. Taurine protects brain cells by reducing intracellular free calcium concentrations. It's a potent antioxidant. It protects from mitochondrial dysfunction, modulates energy metabolism within the cells, modulates genes to induce longevity, inhibits cellular stress that's associated with Alzheimer's. It acts as a quality control in brain cell health, and it protects against strokes. Taurine increases stem cell and progenitor cells, which are natural precursor cells in your brain, including the aging hippocampus, and it increases the survival of newborn neurons, known as neurogenesis. Taurine is one of the most abundant amino acids in the body. It's synthesized in your body from methionine and cysteine via the cysteine sulfonic acid decarboxylase enzyme. Taurine is a conditional amino acid because some of the amino acid is synthesized naturally in your body, and you get the remaining taurine that your body requires from eating seafood, meat, poultry, and eggs. Since taurine is found almost exclusively in animal-based foods, many vegans and vegetarians are at a risk of a taurine deficiency. Science also shows that taurine levels decline with age, possibly because the aging body and the brain cannot supply enough of the precursors required to synthesize the taurine. The structure of taurine has 2 primary differences from essential amino acids. First, taurine's amino group is attached to a beta carbon instead of an alpha carbon, and second, the acid group in the taurine is sulfonic acid, instead of carboxylic acid like in other amino acids. Because of this distinctive structure, taurine is not used in the synthesis of proteins in your body and your brain. Instead, it provides a host of other benefits, which we'll cover later. The more we learn about taurine, the more we realize it's one of the most essential substances in the human body. After extensive animal studies showing all the benefits of taurine, scientists in Japan were curious if there was a correlation with human health. Using data from a World Health Organization study covering 61 populations in 25 countries, they confirmed that populations with the highest levels of taurine in their systems live the longest. As a nootropic, taurine is essential for minimizing the damage from beta-amyloid proteins that are associated with Alzheimer's disease, and protecting against environmental toxins, and preventing mitochondrial dysfunction, and also supporting the inhibitory GABA system. Taurine is needed for promoting long-term potentiation for memory formation, reducing brain inflammation, stimulating growth of new neurons, and protecting your brain from the damaging effects of a stroke. If you deal with anxiety and depression, you'll know the negative effects on learning, work, and quality of life. Supplementing with taurine as a nootropic can help here. Research shows that taurine may help to alleviate depression by changing depression-related signaling cascades in the hippocampus. One study with 121 bipolar patients aged 18 to 25 demonstrated a reduction in manic episodes when supplemented with taurine. And several animal studies have shown taurine as a nootropic supplement can help in the clinical treatment of anxiety by modulating the GABA and the glycine receptors in the brain, and by preventing neurotoxicity and mitochondrial energy failure. Studies show that taurine levels fall as you get older, and supplementing with taurine seems to slow the brain's aging process. Taurine protects brain cells from pesticides and heavy metals like lead. It helps to prevent mitochondrial dysfunction, and it regulates calcium levels. And taurine prevents toxicity by reversing declines in the inhibitory GABA system. Taurine supplementation reduces inflammatory processes caused by excessive iron accumulation that can lead to Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. And it stops amyloid beta plaque from damaging the mitochondria by activating sirtuin-1. Taurine also plays a critical role in creating new brain cells. Research has found that taurine activates dormant stem cells in the brain, and it boosts the survival of new neurons, which result in an increase in adult brain cells. Some taurine is produced in your body from methionine and cysteine, but the remainder must come from your diet. If you're vegan or vegetarian, the chances are high that you're not getting enough taurine. Diseases such as diabetes, cancer, liver disease, kidney or heart disease can also deplete taurine, as can deficiencies in vitamin B6, zinc, magnesium and vitamin A, and also eating foods that contain monosodium glutamate. Insufficient taurine means reduced GABA can lead to anxiety and depression, vision problems, oxidative stress that destroys neurons and synapses, insulin resistance, brain-derived nootropic factor levels decline. Taurine is one of the least expensive nootropic supplements that there is, so if there's a slight chance that you're not getting enough, you should add it to your diet. Taurine is the most abundant amino acid in your body. Strong evidence suggests that taurine could be the secret factor in the world's longest living populations. Studies show that taurine is critical for normal human brain development. It prevents mitochondrial dysfunction within the brain cells. It supports GABA in your brain, preventing neurotoxicity and stress. It reduces inflammation that can lead to Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. It stimulates neurogenesis, which is anti-aging. It shields brain cells from stroke-induced brain damage. It prevents beta amyloid damage that can lead to Alzheimer's disease. It can protect brain cells from heavy metals and pesticides. And it's needed along with NMDA and dopamine receptors for long-term potentiation that's needed for long-term memory formation. Taurine can also restore insulin sensitivity, mitigate diabetic complications, reverse symptoms of heart disease, prevent and treat fatty liver, and reverse tinnitus. If you're interested in living a longer, healthier, and more active life, you should consider adding taurine to your diet. Users report that supplementing with taurine is a simple way to support energy levels. Sleep is better, and taurine may be a safe alternative to prescription sleep medication. Most people using taurine report sharper eyesight, muscle pain is reduced, less depression, and no more insulin resistance problems. Some people also note that adding taurine to their diet helps to relieve chronic fatigue syndrome. Supplementing with taurine is effective for lowering blood pressure and reducing the occurrence of atrial fibrillation. If you've got issues after eating food containing monosodium glutamate, taurine can help to eliminate the headache and the nausea. Autism spectrum disorder is thought to be associated with oxidative stress caused by reactive oxygen species. So oxidative stress could be a potential target for therapeutic intervention of autism. Methylation capacity, sulfate levels, and total glutathione levels are decreased in autism. On the other hand, oxidative glutathione and the ratio of oxidative to reduced glutathione is increased. so decreasing the oxidative stress might be a potential treatment for autism. Taurine is a well-known antioxidant and a regulator of inflammation. Researchers in New York tested 66 children aged 1.5 to 11.5 who were diagnosed with autism, and the controls in the study were the kids' healthy siblings and their parents. The study found that 21 out of the 66 autistic children had low taurine concentrations. The researchers concluded the data implied that taurine may be a valid biomarker for at least some of the people with autism. Studies have shown low dopamine in the prefrontal cortex and the striatum segments of the ADHD brain. A very recent study conducted in Taiwan revealed that high-dose taurine calmed hyperactive behavior and brain signaling in ADHD rats. Taurine significantly affected the dopamine transporter levels, dopamine uptake, and brain-derived nootropic factor expression. Mounting evidence in ADHD research also suggests a strong relationship between inflammation and ADHD. Elevated levels of inflammatory cytokines like interleukin-1 and C-reactive protein are turning out to be diagnostic markers of ADHD. These cytokines induce changes in dopamine and norepinephrine in the prefrontal cortex. A recent study in Taiwan showed that high-dose taurine significantly reduced the interleukin-1 and the C-reactive protein, which in turn reduced the hyperactive behavior. Studies show that patients with OCD have increased glutamate activity and decreased GABA in the brain, and this could be genetic. One specific gene codes for transporters to clear glutamate from the synapses and to boost GABA production. If you're missing this gene, you'll have problems with glutamate and GABA, and you'll likely experience the symptoms of OCD. GABA plays a critical role in regulating the excitability in the neuronal network in your brain. Taurine has been proven to activate the GABA receptors and even boost GABA levels, helping to reduce the symptoms of OCD. Users have noted that consistent use of taurine can reduce the severity and the number of seizures that they experience. Imbalances between excitatory and inhibitory neurotransmitters appear to be the mechanism of epileptic seizures, and taurine serves as an inhibitory neuromodulator. GABA is the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain, so the regulation of GABA plays a prominent role in preventing excitability and seizures. Taurine is a GABA receptor agonist. High doses of taurine activate this receptor, as well as the glycine receptor, which both suppress neuronal firing. Several clinical studies have been conducted to test the efficacy in using taurine to control epilepsy. Reviews are mixed, as only about 1/3 of the patients respond favorably to the taurine therapy. So if you've tried everything else with little success, you might want to give taurine a try. Recommended dose of taurine is 500 mg to 2 grams per day. The safe upper limit of taurine is 3 grams per day. Instead of getting your taurine from an energy drink, try a taurine supplement. Taurine is rapidly absorbed and used in the body and the brain, but studies show that a single dose won't do much in providing a benefit. Continual, daily, long-term use of taurine builds and maintains the adequate levels of taurine that are needed in your system. With very few exceptions, high doses of taurine are well tolerated without adverse side effects. Taurine is well tolerated and safe for most people, and it shouldn't cause any side effects. High taurine dosage should be avoided if you're dealing with bipolar disorder, because it could make your symptoms worse. Taurine is especially helpful for relieving anxiety and stress. If you haven't had much luck with prescription anti-anxiety medication or antidepressants or other nootropics for anxiety, you might want to try taurine. For anti-aging benefits and a longer, healthier life, you should also add taurine to your diet. Taurine is essential for a healthy brain, heart, muscles, eyes, and hearing. Taurine is particularly effective for those using levodopa to treat Parkinson's disease, because this drug depletes taurine in your body. Doctors sometimes recommend doses of taurine up to 6 grams per day for treating high blood pressure, diabetes, congestive heart failure, anemia, cystic fibrosis, and after surgery. For most users, up to 2 grams per day is enough.